Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a makeup look using Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. So let's dive into it.
In time, lead you to me.
So first of all, I'm going to do my eyebrows, and as usually I'm going to start off with a brow pencil. Right now I'm using Benefit Precisely My Brow, and first of all I'm brushing my brows. So the first thing I do when I start doing my brows is I create a shape I want, and next I'm taking my glossier brow flick in the shade Blonde and Brown. First I'm taking the shade Blonde and I'm starting off in the beginning and I am drawing hairs, and then when I got almost to the center of my brow, I'm taking the shade Brown and I will start to draw the hairs towards the end of my brow. And after I've done with the main shape and hairs, I'm taking Blonde again and I lightly draw the hairs in the tail of my brow, so that this way I'm achieving more of a natural looking brow, because if I would fill in with the brown color, my eyebrows would look really dark, which would be very dark for my hair color, and I don't like that on me. So I'm taking Blonde and filling any gaps I have. And as a last step, I am setting my brows with a brow gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And actually this is not the last step, because I forgot that I like to clean under my brow and give my brows more of a chiseled look. So I'm taking a little bit of a concealer. I'm taking a small concealer brush.
Echoes in time.
And I like to make this lower line more perfect, like so. And now the absolutely the same steps I will repeat with my right brow, and I will be back. Mission completed with my brows. Now I'm going to prime my eyelids with a NARS Smudge Proof Tinted Primer. So I have primed my eyelids and I want to quickly apply a light eyeshadow. I'm going to take eyeshadow in the shade Blanc by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is a very old one. And I usually like to apply it before I do other eyeshadows. I feel like other eyeshadows will glide much more easily on top of the light eyeshadow. And now let's get into the eyeshadow palette. And so this is Mini Retro by Natasha Denona. This palette has very beautiful shades. They are very small compared to Natasha Denona bigger palettes. And the shade I'm going to use today are this one, this one, this one, and this one. All the shades except this shimmery pink one. So I'm going to start off with Industrial, this shade, and I will be applying it in my crease. I'm taking a fluffy brush. I'm taking Industrial. These shades are quite pigmented, so I'm recommending to go in with these eyeshadows lightly, because you can always add. So as always, I'm dragging this shade almost to the brow because I like how it looks on my eyes. So now that I have this eyeshadow in my crease, I'm going to take the shade in the middle, it's called 60s, and I'm taking this eyeshadow with a small brush like this one, and I want to deepen the crease with this shade. So I'm placing it right in my crease, where my anatomic crease is, and a little bit on the outer V area of the eye. All the shades in this palette are quite pigmented, and they are very similar to the quality big Natasha Denona palettes. So this is a very good way to try Natasha Denona, but not to spend a fortune on these eyeshadows. You can always try small palettes, and if you like it, you can splurge on bigger ones. And now I'm taking the fluffy brush I've used before, and I'm going over the edges, and I want to blend these two colors a little bit. So I'm adding more to intensify the shade, because as you blend, the eyeshadow loses its intensity a little bit. So I'm adding a little bit more for more of a smoky eye look. So usually I do eye looks with this eyeshadow like so. And now I'm going to take on a flat brush the shade Vintage Taupe, this sparkly green shade, and I'm placing it on my eyelid. And now I want to blend just a little bit, and I'm taking the small brush I used with the shade 60s, and I want to blend a little bit right here in my crease. And I want to take a little bit of a industrial, and with a fluffy brush I'm going over the edge between industrial and 60s. And also a very good thing about this palette is that it doesn't have a lot of fallout, just a little bit. So I'm cleaning my under eye, and now I will repeat everything on my right eye, and I will be back. So for now I've finished with my eyes, and I'm going to do my face. And for the face primer I'm taking Sisley Double Tincture Primer, and next I'm taking Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade 1, and I want to add a little bit of illumination to my face. I love how subtle this highlighter is. I like sometimes natural looking highlight. And next I'm going to take my foundation, and this is my favorite foundation. This one is by Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation, and mine is in the shade Desert Beige. I love this foundation because of a finish. It has very dewy, beautiful finish to it. And now I want to conceal my under eyes, and for concealer I'm using Giorgio Armani Power Fabric in the shade 3. I don't like to use too much, especially now, because after this concealer I'm going to add another one just a little bit to make my under eyes brighter. So I'm going to take Jouer concealer in the shade Snow. This one is very fair, and usually I'm using it for more of a extreme highlight. I also very love this brush. Ever since I bought it, I use it all the time. I do have some beauty blenders, but I mostly use this brush. Now I want to add a little bit of a highlighter. I'm going to use Iconic London Illuminating Drops in the shade Original. This one is one of my favorite highlighting products. And I think that with this eyeshadow look would be perfect this blush. This one is from Rare Beauty in the shade Joy. This is a liquid blush with beautiful luminous finish because they have mattes in their range, but I like this one, and I also love very much the shade of this blush. So I'm adding a little bit and hoping that this one will be not too much. I think that it's okay right now. So now I want to set my under eyes and my face. As usual, I'm going to use two powders. For under eye, I'm going to use Ilia Soft Focus Finishing Powder. And for my face, I'm going to use Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. As a next step, I'm going to use my contour powder, and this is the only contour powder I have. This one is from Dolce & Gabbana blush in the shade Tan, and this is very perfect for contouring because the shade is cool toned, and I'm contouring my cheekbones. So today is the official day when I've hit the pan just a little bit. Okay, so now I want to apply a little bit of a blush on top of the liquid blush. I want this blush to stay more on the orange side. Yeah, I think that I'm going to take this beautiful, my beloved Love Glow Cheek Palette by Natasha Denona. I want to take this beautiful coral sparkly shade just a little bit to add illumination to my cheeks. So you can see that this powder is quite pigmented, and I'm adding on top more for a highlighted look. And now is the right time for a bronzer. So I think that since I'm not tan right now, I'm going to use this one, Radiant Bronze Light. And I'm taking this big fluffy brush and I'm bronzing myself just a little bit. Although I really love bronze look, and usually I bronze myself up a lot. This bronzer is so beautiful. This does really have this luminous finish, which I really love. I'm all for the luminous glow from within look. And as a finishing step with my face, I'm going to use YSL Touche Éclat 3D All Over Glow. This one is my favorite product for a subtle luminous skin look. Usually I'm going over the whole face with this powder because it does really give this healthy skin look. And now it's time for highlights, and for my highlighter I'm using my favorite highlighter from, this one is from Hourglass, and usually I'm taking all the shade like that and I'm applying it on my cheekbones, my forehead, basically everywhere I would normally highlight. And now let's get back to the eyes, and I want to define my lower lash line. And now, as with my eyes, I'm going to start off with this industrial pinky nude shade. I'm going to take that one with this small fluffy brush, and I'm smudging this shade on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take this smudger brush. I'm taking the shade 60s, which is this one in the middle, and I'm placing it mostly on the outer half of the eye. And and I'm thinking that maybe I should place the shade Vintage Taupe, this one, just a little bit in the center of my lower lash line. So I think that I'm going to risk and place it right here. Yeah, maybe I will place it all the way. And now I'm going to repeat everything with my left eye, and I will be right back. So I've done my lower lash lines, and now I'm going to take my pencil brush and I will be taking the shade Pixie, this beautiful pink glitter. It's more of a eyeshadow topper or for highlighting the inner corners and underbrow, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm taking the shade Pixie on a pencil brush and I'm placing it right in the inner corner of my eye. I've left a little space right here so I can add inner corner highlight. I love this eyeshadow, it's so sparkly, so beautiful. And also I'm adding this color under my brow a little bit. This shade has this beautiful rose golden flecks and blue flecks. So right now I'm done with my eyeshadows and the only thing left is to set my face with setting spray. So I'm taking Urban Decay All Nighter and now I'm going to line my eyes with a eye pencil. This one is MAC Teddy. And now I will be curling my eyelashes and putting on mascara. And for mascara I'm using this deluxe size Milk Makeup Kush mascara. And on my lower lashes I will be using MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. This one is a tubing mascara and I love that because I don't like when my mascara flake on me or smudge, because that ruins all of my makeup and this is not pretty. And now I'm going to repeat everything with my right eye. So this is complete makeup look. I've put on some lip liner and lip gloss and I'm very happy how this eye look turned out because I really love these shades. Those shades are very interesting and unique because I have quite a few eyeshadows and I don't have anything like in this palette. So I want to show you some quick swatches on my hand so that you will be able to see all the colors together. So the first color I'm taking is Pixie. This one is very beautiful glittery eyeshadow and this eyeshadow is more of a eyeshadow topper or highlight. So this is Pixie. As you can see, this is very beautiful, almost wet looking eyeshadow with blue and rose gold glitters. Next one is Vintage Taupe. This is the eyeshadow which I am wearing on my eyelid. This is very beautiful green eyeshadow, taupey green with sparkles. I do love this shade so much and I have worn this shade a lot already. And another one is 60s, which is in the middle. This is beautiful matte hockey shade. This eyeshadow blends very beautifully. All the mattes blend very smoothly. I haven't had any problems with them. Another eyeshadow is Industrial, which I've used in my crease and for blending. This is beautiful pinky nude shade. At least in the pan it is nude and on a more tan skin it also looks more of a pink, but right now it looks a little bit orange, but this is a pink eyeshadow as you can see in the pan. And the last eyeshadow which I haven't used in this eye look is Galaxia. This one is beautiful pink shimmer. As you can see, it has really fine shimmers in it, and the shade itself is very beautiful and wearable. So this is Mini Retro palette, and I've used this palette quite a lot already, and the most favorite eyeshadow is this one, a vintage taupe glittery one. I very love this eyeshadow, especially in combination with this matte shade. And I love all these shadows, they blend very beautifully. It is very easy to use this palette, so you don't have to be some kind of professional to be able to blend these eyeshadows. So I really highly recommend this eye palette, especially if you don't have any of Natasha Denona palettes and you want to start off with something, because Natasha Denona eye palettes can be very expensive. So Natasha Denona, I think, has one of the most expensive palettes in her range, those ones with 25 or 28 eyeshadow. And I'm also recommending this eyeshadow palette if you want something interesting, because I haven't come across with the shades like this eyeshadow palette has. These are truly unique eyeshadows and very beautiful, and I very love this palette and I very love this eyeshadow look. I worn it a lot in the summer. This is the look I've created with Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. I hope you really enjoyed watching this video. Please comment down below your opinion on this look if you like it. And in the future I will be doing another makeup look with this palette, so subscribe to my channel not to miss that. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video.